welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking Punisher and my top 5 Punisher books that I want to own if I was a Punisher fan. But before we get started in that video, guys, like always, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel and have been enjoying some of my content, do me a favor, go ahead and click the subscribe button for me. You will not regret it. I also want you to tap that like button for me and turn on the notification bell because it lets you guys know when I post new videos. If you guys haven't checked out my website, mightycollects.com, I have a slew of new books for sales and of course some merch if you guys are interested. But we're talking about the Punisher and the top 5 books that I want to own. Like always, we're going to start at number 1, and it is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 129 and the first appearance of Frank Castle and the Punisher. And I absolutely love this Gil Kane and John Romita yellow cover. Is one of my all-time favorite yellow covers of all time. If you guys haven't watched my channel for a bit, I have a giant, huge original art piece for that cover that was redone by a friend of mine. Regardless, a CGC 7.0 just sold this past September for $2,275. But hold your horses. I was on an Instagram live sale last week and somebody had a 7.0 copy. They lowered down to $1,900. So right now, this book is starting to come down, and it's starting to come down a lot. So if you guys are in the market to buy an Amazing Spider-Man number 129, now may be the time to go ahead and pick up a copy, or even pick up a second or third copy if you're so inclined. Book I'm always buying, always looking for, no matter what, is one of my favorite books of all time. At number 2 on this list is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 135 and the second appearance of the Punisher. But wait, what? People out there are saying that right now this is the third appearance of the Punisher? That's right. In Amazing Spider-Man number 134, on the last page is a panel with full-blown Punisher himself. So I think I have to go with everybody out there and say this is now the third appearance of the Punisher. But this awesome John Romita Sr. cover is one of the best that he has ever done, with the tarantula overlooking Spider-Man. This one is freaking amazing. But a CGC 8.0 just sold this month for only $247, which I think is an absolute steal just for the cover alone. If you guys don't know the story, I used to own a really high grade copy of this book in the raw form, and I sold it way too early. And I had a buddy of mine who actually religiously watches the channel reach out to me and say, hey, my LCS has a nice copy for a good price. Are you interested? And I said yes. He mailed me the book, and now I'm a proud owner of this book again. But either way, it's number 2 on my list, and definitely a book I want to own. At number 3 on this list is what else? Amazing Spider-Man number 134 and the second appearance of the Punisher and the first appearance of the Tarantula. And a CGC 7.0 just sold this month for $165, and yet again an amazing cover by the great John Romita. Again, another book I'd probably want to own if I'm a Punisher fan, but again, the first 2 books on this list are really the books that I want to own. But if you're, like I said, a realist and you want that second appearance, this is it, and at high grade, it's a great price. At number 4 on my list is a book that nobody seems to be talking about. It's a copy of Giant Size Spider-Man number 4 and the 4th appearance of the Punisher, but this is also the debut of Punisher's Battle Van. And a CGC 7.0 just sold last month for only $95. Not to mention, this is an iconic cover by the great Gil Kane. Gil Kane is one of the most underrated artists of the Bronze Age, and I own a lot of his books, and I think he's right there with John Romita for covers that I absolutely love. But again, it had to go number 4 on my list. It is like a giant size book, so it is a square bound book, so it's really hard to find in the higher grades. But again, for under $100 for a 7.0, you cannot go wrong for a great Punisher key. And rounding out the top 5, I had to put this book in there. It is a copy of The Punisher number 1, the limited series by Mike Zeck. Awesome cover. I've owned this book a ton in the past, and right now a CGC 9.8 will run at $791, and that was the last sale this September. I will say this, guys, you don't need to own a 9.8 copy of this book. I used the 9.8 grade just to illustrate how expensive this book was at 9.8. But you can go out and get this book for $20 to $40 in, you know, higher grade, very fine condition. Don't go out and spend a ton of money, $1,000 on a 9.8 copy of this book. If you want to own it, just own it because it is the #1 in the limited series, and it's a great cover by Mike Zack. And it's a book, I think, if you're a Punisher fan, you want to own. So that's it for my top 5 list of the Punisher books that I want to own if I was a great Punisher fan, which I am. I own actually only 3 books on this list: Amazing Spider-Man 129, 134, and 135, and I think that's enough for me. You don't have to own every book on these top 5, guys, so keep that in mind. But again, if I'm going out and buying one book, it's Amazing Spider-Man number 129. At one point, I probably owned 5 or 6 copies of this book, and I'm now down to 2, believe it or not. But you never know. It may be time to add a 3rd. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.